Hi everybody! I'm finally back. Aren't you excited? So, yeah, my break wasn't supposed to be like 6, 7, I don't know. Time has no meaning anymore. Anyway, months. It wasn't supposed to be months. It was just supposed to be a short break. But life happened. The world went crazy. You're all right there with me. I know you totally get it. Anyway, in the meantime, we've done some other fun stuff like setting up a new workspace, new filming space. I've got this whole room set up and all painted all beautiful purple and decorated like me. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I will eventually give you guys a little tour of this room. That's not today though. That's like some other future time. Who freaking knows? Anyway, today I want to get started on a project going for kind of a classy, spooky decor because we're coming up on spooky season. Fall's just like right around the corner, and I, for one, am so excited. I kind of messed up in the filming of this though, like, eesh. Anyway, I got a whole new filming setup too, including this ring light, which comes with this little fob guy, this Bluetooth fob, clicky clicky, and it starts like recording or not recording. And so, like the brilliant person I am, I decided the first time that I used it, I was going to use it while I was actively recording by myself, where I couldn't see what was on the screen, because smart. And at some point in the recording, I guess one of the clicks didn't take. So when I thought I was recording, I was not. And when I thought I was not recording, I was. Super fun. So anyway, I messed up some of the footage. I did my best to salvage it. And I think the tutorial's still going to be fine. I think you guys will still understand exactly what I'm getting at. It was only half of one of the days of work that I messed up on. So it wasn't too bad. But still, if especially when I'm showing you guys how I do the teeth on this skull, if you guys are like, what the hell is this? It's I messed up recording and had to do the best I could to show you guys what I had done on the missing footage. So, anyway, like I said, this is the first step of a bigger project, this aging the skull, but I figure it's also standalone because, you buy all these Halloween decorations, and a lot of times the bones look kind of crappy, right? And you want to make them look a little more realistic. So today I'm going to show you how to do that, at least with this skull. This method might not work on every single material. This material says it's resin, but it really feels like cold porcelain. So anything kind of similar to that, like the hard plastics, not like not like cup plastic. Not like those, not like Dollar Tree plastic bones. I mean like the more resiny type ones. This will definitely work on almost all of those. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy this. Yeah, I forgot how to do intros. What am I even doing here? Alright, here we have our beautiful Miss Rose ready for her makeover. I will leave the link below to where I got her. I got her from Amazon, and it took about a month and a half for her to get here because it was from a shipper out of China. I really do like the quality of the skull though. As I said before, it's kind of like cold porcelain and less like resin. It says it's a 1-to-1 scale, but really that would be if it's a child-sized skull. It's perfect for what I'm going to use it for, but you should be aware it's on the small side, but it is really good quality. So to start off with, I'm going to use these rasps so that I can get in all of these small places where the mold isn't quite perfect and there might be chunks and bumps and stuff I don't like. Like inside the socket right here, you can see some of the flashing around that hole in the back of the eye socket. I want to get rid of all of that kind of stuff, things that make it very noticeably a molded skull. After that, I'm going to take some fine grit sandpaper and on all the high points, the dome, the teeth, Anywhere I might find a bump that I don't think looks good, I'm just going to sand it all down. Basically, all the normal preparation stuff you want to do before you start adding color. Now the first round of color, I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of this 90% isopropyl alcohol. And into that alcohol, I'm going to add some of this alcohol ink. This is from Jim Holtz, and this color is called Dijon. I'm going to put 8 drops of this in there. Did I just say Jim Holtz? Tim Holtz? Whoever. I don't know the guy. He doesn't know me. I don't think he'll be offended. Anyway, same brand. This color is called Sienna, and I'm only going to put 2 drops of this in there. Then you just mix it all up and you're going to get something that looks kind of like tea. And you're just going to brush that all over the skull, as I'll show you in just a moment. As you can see, I got some good found outside reference bones sitting there to use as my color palette. In this part of the footage, I had already done part of the skull and you're going to see me finishing it. This is the first coat of alcohol ink. You don't have to be precious with this stuff, just get it on there. It's going to dry quickly as long as you don't have it like super duper gloppy in places you don't want a concentration of color. You really don't have to worry about it. It was very easy to apply. You can see I'm just doing a nice light layer covering the whole thing. I put 2 coats of this on mine. You might want to do more or less depending on your desired end effect, but you know, just let it dry between steps and kind of make a judgment call on how much of this you really want on your skull or other bones. Doesn't have to be a skull. Do make sure you get inside the eye sockets and other little like hole areas that might be seen. And I definitely did let it puddle in some of the deeper spots on the skull because I want them to have a richer, darker color and I want them to stand out better. Here she is after 2 coats of the alcohol ink, and it's not quite dry everywhere, and that's what those bright spots are. They do mellow out as it dries, but keep an eye on it. If there's a mistake and you don't like it, you can always get rid of it with plain alcohol. And now I'm going to be going in with my watercolor paint. And as you can see, it's kind of an orangey brown color, but I added a little bit of black to it to kind of give it a little bit of grayness. And what I'm doing here is I'm putting it on, just kind of really making sure I get down in the low points is the main thing, and then I'm blotting it off with a paper towel. That highlights all of those cracks and crevices really well, or shadows them rather, makes them stand out, makes them pop. And then when you use the paper towel like this, just pat it, don't wipe it. It gives kind of an organic, mottled feel to the way the paint lays down, because as you can see off to the side there, that skull, that's not a consistent coloration. And if you're wanting it to look natural, you want it to have kind of a spotty look to it, if you know what I mean. And just like with the alcohol ink, I went over it a couple of times with the watercolor till I like the look of it. And for all this little detail work, what I have done here is I have taken my soft chalk pastels and a piece of heavy grit sandpaper, and I just kind of scribbled on the sandpaper so that I got a little pile of powder from the pastel. And then I'm using a brush, and it's a fine detail brush, and I'm going into all those small spaces with a dark kind of grayish brown and adding just, more depth to the shadowed spots. And this is, again, something I went over a few times until I got it the way I like the look of it. And after the chalk pastels have dried, which using alcohol instead of water, they will dry a lot faster, you can come in with another dry fluffy brush and kind of like fade out the shadows if you want some blended effect. Now here's where I'm kind of doing some video recon, because the footage that I didn't get was the footage of me doing the teeth. Here you can see the teeth are completed and I didn't get any footage of my process. So I'm going to try to make it up to you by taking the bottom jaw and doing the inside teeth, because I didn't do the inner side of the teeth. I'm not worried about that. When she's done, you're never going to see that part. Thank goodness it's going to work out well for you guys, because now I still have some teeth I can show you the process on. First, I'm going to get some more of that isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to use this both to, as you can see right here, I'm about to kind of clean off the teeth before I paint them, just, you know, making sure there's no debris on them. But I'm also going to use that with the chalk pastels later when I'm doing shadowing, just like before. Now, I want you to know I attempted several different ways of doing the teeth on this thing before I found one I really liked. And that just happened to be using this stuff, this puff paint. You want the shiny, slick stuff. The thing is, this looks a lot like tooth enamel when it dries. You're just going to want to put a thin layer on the teeth. And I don't know if you've ever looked at an old skull, but the teeth do stay more white than the rest of the skull. And they also stay shiny because our teeth are covered in enamel and our skeletons are not. So yeah, just do a thin layer. Don't do a thick layer. You don't want it to look gloppy and weird. You just need a very thin layer of the white. And here I'm showing you the colors of chalk pastel that I have gotten ready. It's kind of this mustard yellow and that dark grayish brown. And I'm going to take the dark brown first and get a little bit of alcohol on my brush, and right along the gum line I'm going to put down some of that dark brown. Then I'm going to do the same thing between the teeth. That way, you know, they look more realistic, like there's actually space between them. And then you want to just slightly pull that brown down from the gum line onto the teeth just a little bit. Like you don't want to go crazy with it, but you do want to shadow the very top of each tooth. And that's what I'm doing right here. And after I get that brown down, I'm going to come in with that mustard kind of color and just lightly kind of fade from the brown into the white. You want to use that yellow to kind of transition, and it will give you a nice natural aged tooth look. And there you guys have it. Here is Miss Rose, all beautiful and ready for the next step of her adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you come back to see my spooky, elegant times I'm going to make using this lady. Make sure you like and subscribe. Please come back. I'm so sad. See you guys next time.